Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Retro G.I. Joe Trooper, or as we all like to call it, the green shirt. And I think a lot of us have been waiting for a troop builder like this. I know we have a lot of the steel core figures, and they seem to be accumulating, but now we have some stuff. Have a figure that, I don't know, maybe we can use to kit bash stuff. Maybe use one for Budo and all of his accessories. But anyway, we're going to take a look at this. But before we do, I want to point out, I have B's Battlegrounds stickers back here. I'm hoping that maybe it'll give me a few more views. They'll think, hey, you know what? That's B. He's finally showing his face. B is probably not as ugly as this, but anyway, we're going to take a look at this. And anyway, we have the explosion, and then we have a running green shirt with the XMLR, and here we can see everything that he does come with, including the XMLR. He has Stalkers, a submachine gun, which I think is an odd weapon to give, and what I mean by that is they really should give him the M16. Let's be honest, you're thinking of just regular troopers. They were going to have M16s as your base weapon. But anyway, there you go. On the back, what you're going to have here is the Green Trooper and the Sunbow Retro Bat. Here we have the file card, and I'll mention it again. They really should have just put a whole bunch of the different retro figures that they have and put it all across it. And like I said, the file card at the bottom. But hey, I'm just a consumer giving my opinions. But anyway, let's get into this. I'm eager to rip open into this, see how it is, see if it's any good, because I do have more than just this one coming in. So anyway, before we do, if you like this type of content, you like when I drop the G.I. Joe Classified reviews, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a classified review. Alright, figure is out, and we're going to take a look at him and everything that he does come with. As you can see, he comes with two different heads, and he also comes with two different necks, and obviously a couple of hands that are going to be universal. The one thing that I wanted to see, as you can see, I have a couple of steel core figures here, and I grabbed one, and I actually already popped the head off, or the neck off, and I'm wondering if it'll be universal. So we're going to put that to the side. We're going to look at all of this, and then we're going to see if we can pop one of the heads and hands on this and see if it works. So anyway, looking at this first, we'll take a look at all the accessories, and I always like to go over the reuse first, which is pretty much everything. So first off, we're going to have Stalker's submachine gun here. I believe this is a built-in suppressor. I apologize if I'm wrong. Someone's probably told me before. It has that stock that I always laughed at because you have to be right-handed, and yes, I'm talking about even in the 80s when we had Stalker here. He has a nice iron sight. I do think this is a nice weapon. I wish there's something about the barrel. It kind of bothers me, but that's just me. Now, it has the port for blast effects, and we have one right here. We can just kind of pop that in so you can see how that looks. It has the magazine that pops right out here. Slide that back in. You got the grip, you got the trigger and the trigger guard. There you can see the 3-round burst, full automatic, or single burst. Here we have the XMLR, the laser rifle from the cartoon, and you can see it's kind of warped. Sometimes you got to heat these things up, unfortunately, but they are stiffer plastic. They're not super gummy like they used to be. All right. Two tones of color, the same with like on Stalkers. So you got the grip here, trigger guard and trigger. You got your nice stock here with some detail on the back, and then where he's going to be able to hold it to, to fire. They got that a little painted green, and then you have the port for blast effects on the barrel. You have your iron sight right there. There are no magazines for this because it is some sort of laser rifle, XMLR. We get this pistol here, which is becoming like their most common pistol, it seems like. This does look good. I like it. Two different colors. So you are getting a little bit of a paint app on it, where the grip is black. You got the trigger and the trigger guard right there. The port for blast effects. And once again, it should slide directly into it, which I think does work pretty well. But it is an interesting weapon. I like it. Their pistols always seem to be pretty good, to be honest. All right. Here we have the knife. And it's bent. Once again, something you need to straighten out. It's not super thick or super blunt, shall I say, but the silver is a nice little touch to it. And then you just have the green. You have the guard handle. All right. We get the helmets that we've been seeing. All right. With the visor, which I think is actually pretty good. It is clearly different than what Short Fuse has, as you can see. This is just a regular, the regular helmet, which I think is what Duke and Starduster come with. This visor looks way more classic. So if you are upset over how this visor looks on Short Fuse, here you go. This is going to fit perfect. I don't think there's really a big issue with Steeler here, although you should be able to pop that off and put it on here if you really want to. But it is clear, so you're going to be able to see through it. It goes up, and then we can just pop it off. Well, you can pop it off. I'm not going to pop it off. You can see how it is. You just have to push it through the holes. And it's pliable, which I like their helmets because they're pliable. You may think that'd be awful, but if they're super hard, stiff plastic, guess what? If it doesn't form to the head perfectly, it's going to be a problem. Here we have the G.I. Joe stand. You guys know all my feelings on stands. Here's where the name is supposed to be. You got the star and 2 pegs right here. Now, again, I don't like stands, but again, if you're going to give them to us, put whoever it goes to on there. It's a little detail. You're already doing it. We know what you did, that you kind of just made it a little bit bigger. It'd be nice if you did that. As for the hands, he comes with the black figure, so all you're going to get is 2 black fists because he already has the trigger fingers. Now these are hands that we've seen numerous times, but there is some nice detail. So you can see the veins, the bone structure going through it. You can see his thumbnail right there. So it looks pretty good. And then here, the white figure is going to have 2 white punchy hands. The exact same hands over here, and then they have the trigger fingers. All right, this one actually looks pretty good. A lot of times these trigger fingers, you have to take a razor blade and just kind of cut into there. But again, decent there. You can see the structure. You can see the fingernails on this. So, and then we get the white head, and it looks like he's kind of coming out of having a shaved head. The back looks really good here. It's faded here. The front looks like, well, looks like there's some paint, a little bit of paint rub, but it actually kind of makes it look like his hair is just a little bit messy. On the top, you can see the texture and how it looks, so it gives it a little bit of depth. Eyebrows are good. Nice eyes looking forward. It looks like maybe the lips have a little bit of color to it just to kind of make them pop. You can see the structure right here around his nose, which I really do like, and then you have his ears. All right, and remember, he has his own neck. So rather than what they've done with a lot of the figures where they might have 2 different colors of a character, and they just leave the neck neutral, where he's wearing like a turtleneck or a jacket that's going up all the way. Here they're giving you actual different necks, okay? Here's our green shirt. Now I quickly looked at him, and it looks like the arms and legs, boots and everything are the same buck that's on Short Fuse. The shirt, so the shirt up here is different. I believe this either goes to Duke or maybe Flint. Not the same one that Steeler has. So looking at this figure here, we can see the hair. It definitely is a different style hair. You can see how it fades in the back, but the top of the texture is completely different. So it's not like they just painted the exact same face, which is, you know, again, the same thing done with the police officer, the firefighter, stuff like that. All right. You can see the color looks really good. The hair, actually, the paint apps look pretty good on the hair. He's got a little mustache, eyebrows, eyes are looking straight, got the ears. You can see how his lips kind of just are sitting there, and they look like they were hit with a little bit of paint app too. I forget whose this is, if it is somebody's. Not sure if this is new or not. Feel free to let me know in the comments. So, looking at it though, I do like the strap. I do hate the fact that that you have the knife that is sheathed in and it just stays there. All right. So looking at the top here, you have padding up here, so it's not just digging into his shoulders. You got a flashbang or smoke bomb right there. There you have the belt buckle, which is hit with a little bit of gold paint. You got the black right up there. Here you can see the knife, which is gray with a nice little... I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like that or not. I don't have multiple ones yet. When I get multiple ones, I'll be able to tell, but it's kind of weird that it has that line right there. Then you have the belt buckle painted in gold, but the detail on it, you can see, like, again, the padding around here. You can see how this is going to connect and squeeze into it. He's got a pouch right there, a pouch on up here, and he has the Y strap. I know the Cobra Troopers, they had Y straps and then H straps. Super 7 did all kinds of different ones. All right, on the arms, these are the same arms we've seen before. So you have the pouch right there, not the pouch, the pocket right there. Arms going all the way down. So this way, the sleeves go all the way down to the hands. This way you don't have to worry about having a gauntlet or something that's hiding whatever color it is. Kind of like those, the original Cobra Vipers. But it just goes right down to the cuffs. Same with on this side. He has a different colored white shirt underneath it, which is more like a lime green. Nice collar right up there. Got some pockets up here. Got the drop down holster with a little paint app on the belt buckle. Here, same thing, gold belt buckles for the knife sheath. Pants go all the way down. I believe these are considered bloused. He has the shoelaces, which I think do look really good, going all the way down. As for his articulation, he can look down that far, and he can only look up that far. Again, this is something I wish they would rectify. Turn side to side. He can go this way, kind of on an angle. And again, the way this is all set, we're going to pop this whole thing out now. I had to heat this up. Who knows if I'll have to heat this one up. All right. Perfect T-pose. He swivels at the shoulder and at the bicep. Pinless double elbows, and then he's going to have his wrist swivel. There's his ab crunch that goes down that far and goes back. He can turn side to side. His Jean-Claude Van Damme with drop down hips. All right, there's his thigh swivel, double pinless knees. Boot cut, ankle rocker, all that good stuff. All right, so here you're looking at the black version of the character. Again, this is to get you to buy two, let's be honest. But they're also saying, hey, if you only want one and you want it to be a white figure, you can make them white. It's up to you. You do whatever you want, all right? So I'm going to pop this off. Now, this came off actually pretty easily. This was the same thing that kind of happens with the police officer, right? It just kind of pops right out. We're going to throw this in here. And now you have a white soldier. Going to pop off his hands. And you know me, might as well have trigger fingers. Or we can just throw them and not have them at all. As I reach for it, or give me 1 second as I grab the hand. All right, there you go there. All right, that looks good. Throw the helmet on him. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, you can put this on a different character with a different size head. And because it is a pliable plastic, it molds. As a matter of fact, this helmet looks different than Duke's, because I don't remember Duke's having this big piece at the back there. So, there's a lot that's kind of messed up on this helmet, to be 100%. There we go. It looks weird. It looks like the helmet that babies have that have like head injuries. So there's his pistol, and there's his knife sheath. And I'm not really having any looseness like the bat that I had. We're gonna throw this rifle on him for right now. Later on, I have other weapons that I'll be able to mess around with. Oops. Open that hand. So now he's actually grabbing it, which makes it look pretty nice. And how easy it to get this guy in the nice running position. Actually super easy. All right. So you're going to be able to pose these guys just like any other figures. I absolutely hate posing figures like the 80s the 80s action hero that just fires from the hip. But this guy. So let's take this. I don't know if we'll have to heat that up or not, but we're going to see if we can just kind of, well, actually we didn't have to. It is actually kind of loose. So what you're going to want to do is get a little bit of sticky tack. But that looks pretty good, to be honest. Let's pop the hands off. Because I just like, I mean, it's, you're customizing a figure without really customizing. So I heard someone else complain about this with the police officer. And I don't know why this thing got turned. So here we go. They're using two different pegs, which is kind of which is extremely aggravating. It's not even kind of aggravating. This is completely aggravating. Like, I have a perfect chance to swap it. This is the only property that I know that does this. I don't believe Marvel Legends does it. I know other independent brands, they don't do it. You can see his head is super wobbly. Again, why this here isn't basically the exact same size makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Alright, so you're going to have to use some sticky tack. It's frustrating. I have all these figures here. It'd be nice to be able to use some of these heads on other figures of theirs to do. But once again, it's another stupid thing that's done by the G.I. Joe team. And I'm not blaming Hasbro on this. I'm blaming the G.I. Joe team on this. This is something that they can rectify extremely easily. And I just feel like they don't. And it makes no sense whatsoever why they don't. So you can make it work. Again, you can use some sticky tack. But the fact that these things are actually thinner, I don't know how well it's going to stay in there. So you're probably going to need to have gloved hands. If these were thicker, yeah, I could shave them down and make it work a little bit better. Or I can find other hands of someone of color that might match it. But I had a perfect chance to make these universal. This is an issue that's been going on for way too long. And seriously, G.I. Joe team, this is something that needs to be rectified. I'm going to wrap this up. All right, there you go. That is my review of the G.I. Joe Trooper, or known as Green Shirt. I'm going to use some sticky tack to get this head to stay on there because I like having maybe some of these steel core figures that aren't just basic helmet, and I can have them carrying the helmet. I do like these. They're pretty fun. I have a few coming. I'll be able to swap some stuff, but now I'm wondering, hey, is that extra Budo's head actually going to fit on here? I don't know why that team can't seem to get these things rectified. And yes, it is frustrating. It doesn't mean I hate the product. Doesn't mean I think that they're bad people. I just don't understand why something so simple, and I know I don't make toys, but I'm going to say it's simple because every other company and brand of theirs is making it work. Yet the G.I. Joe team has a problem. What is that problem? Why can't it be rectified? This is driving me nuts too, that it's not an angle. I don't get it, but it's very frustrating. It's something very minor. We should be able to modify our figures. We should be able to customize them. First off, the neck peg, don't even get me started on it. It should fit with Marvel Legends, Operation Monster Force, Valiverse if I want to ruin my figures. I mean, for the love of God, like, there's no reason why it shouldn't be. Imagine going out and buying a skateboard and every single truck, that's what the wheels connect to, is a different size that goes onto the deck. Or the bearings are different for each, for each wheel company. They make their own bearings. It makes absolutely no sense. It should be universal across the board. So anyway, I just got back from Assembly Required. Had a great time. Want to throw this together, put it out there. I don't want to be frustrated, yet I find myself frustrated. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. But before I do, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a G.I. Joe classified review. Now, don't go anywhere. You might be like, hey, I saw that bat in the back. Have you done anything else? Well, you're right. Well, you'd be right. I've done a whole bunch. Actually, you didn't ask me. You were wondering. Yes, I've done a whole bunch, like all of this stuff and all the retros. They'll be right up here, and here will be a playlist with all the stuff that I've reviewed. Take care.